Hello and welcome back to another week in new genre books. My name is Amelia, and from Locus magazine, I'm about to tell you the top new science fiction, fantasy, and horror books being published the week of December 12th, 2023. You'd think holiday sales would count for something, but really, December is a hard time to publish books for a bunch of reasons. People taking holidays from printers to publicists to understaffed shipping departments make getting a book out on time and noticed extra difficult. So books slide by unnoticed or miss their date, and awards eligibility gets confusing when they cross over to the new year. Mostly publishing goes quiet in December and January, so this week is shorter than most. The small press, notably Kasich, is shoring up the list. Starting with science fiction, we have 8 titles. We don't usually cover tie-in novels, but like I said, it's a light week, and this one is from Pat Cadigan. From Cadigan, we saw Ultraman out from Titan Books UK in trade paperback and ebook. This is a tie-in novel based on a movie, based on a series. Look, it really is turtles all the way down sometimes. Pursuing a fugitive space monster, a being of light enters Earth's atmosphere, accidentally colliding with a patrol jet piloted by Science Patrol agent Shin Hayata. The being merges with the pilot to save his life and vows to defend the Earth. Now, whenever the planet is threatened by alien invaders, terrifying monsters, or any threat beyond the capabilities of humanity, Shin Hayata transforms into the towering Ultraman to save the day. From Edward M. Lerner, who as well as being a hard SF author in his own right, has been a longtime collaborator with Larry Niven, we have Life and Death on Mars, out from Kasich SF and Fantasy in trade paperback and ebook. This is an SF novel. China, the USA, and a secret cabal of billionaires all race to launch missions to Mars. Each expedition is riddled with its own internal rivalries. Now the settlers struggle to survive Mars and a plague which also threatens Earth. From Jeff Wheeler, we have Jaguar Prophecies, out from 47 North in trade paperback, ebook, and audio. This is an SF thriller second in the Dresden Codex series. After a terrifying and near-fatal encounter with a man trying to fulfill the ancient Jaguar prophecies, Jonathan Roth has escaped with his family and his life. Now he must retrieve and decipher an ancient codex before the countdown to the end time runs out. From Paul Lynch, we have Prophet Song, out from Atlantic Monthly Press in hardcover and ebook. This is a near-future dystopian SF novel about an Irish family split by the rise of a radical right party and its totalitarian government, which disappears one member. From Kat Rambo and Jennifer Brozek, we have the Reinvented Detective, out from Kasich SF and Fantasy in trade paperback, ebook, and audio. This is an original anthology of short stories about near-future technologies, AI, and robots as involved in crime, law, and prosecution, which this is me overanalyzing again. Look, this is a new spin on the AI is taking our jobs argument. Is crime a job that AI can do better than humans? And would the AI have to be tried by a jury of its peers? Like, can you fill the jury box with other bots? Authors include Jane Yolen, Harry Turtledove, Shaunam Maguire, Premi Mohammed, Lisa Morton, and Peter Clines. From L. Neil Smith, we have Aries, out from Kasich SF and Fantasy in trade paperback and ebook. This is an SF novel, the last book by Smith. Alien colonists on Mars need a rescue mission. The US government has fractured, and neither side is in a hurry to send rescue. The Gu family, miners, and terraformers launch their own rescue mission from Polis, which will be a one-way trip, and the colonists will have to learn how to survive without government help. From Harry Turtledove, we have Wages of Sin, out from Kasich SF and Fantasy in hardcover, ebook, and audio. This is an alternate history SF novel about how the world would change if HIV began to spread in the 16th century. Viola is born into this transformed society in mid-19th century England, where men and women are heavily segregated and technological advances have been severely limited. Curious and intelligent, she must do all her traveling through books. Tell us about it, girl. From Serena Ulibarri, we have Steel Tree, out from Stelliform Press in trade paperback and ebook. This is an SF novel retelling the story of the Nutcracker, set on the fertile moon of Eta. Clara Silber has been left to tend her family's farm, hoping to earn the right to ascend the space elevator to the new colony. But the android nutcrackers have been malfunctioning, and some of the farmers have gone missing. Then one of the guests transforms into a rat, and a fairy appears. I don't know what the fairy says, though. Probably something important. In fantasy, we have 5 titles. From Neil Gaiman and P. Craig Russell, we have The Complete Norse Mythology, out from Dark Horse Books in hardcover. This is a graphic novel / omnibus / collection of the complete comic book series, 18 issues previously collected in 3 volumes, with Gaiman's retellings of Norse myths adapted by P. Craig Russell with art by Jerry Ordway, Mike Mignola, Jill Thompson, and more. This is an oversized deluxe edition with slipcase. From Richard Sparks, we have New Rock, New Roll, out from Kasich SF and Fantasy in trade paperback, ebook, and audio. This is a humorous lit RPG novel. Dax and his teammates won the RPG Grand Championship, but then he awakens in an unfamiliar wilderness. As his own avatar with only low-level equipment, he must find his friends and escape whatever is howling out there. From David Mealing, we have Chains of the Earth, out from Orbit US in trade paperback and ebook. This is a fantasy novel, the third and final in the Ascension Cycle trilogy. Serene must learn the true nature of her powers as the final showdown with the Regnant approaches. From Melinda Salisbury, we have Her Dark Wings, out from Delacorte in trade paperback, ebook, and audio. This is a young adult fantasy novel reimagining the Persephone myth. Corey loses her best friend Bree, first to betrayal, and then to death. Good grief, how do you mourn your BFF who betrayed you? While she's trying to work that out, Corey catches sight of Bree's spirit passing into the afterlife, and she finds herself facing Hades, the Lord of the Dead. From Julie Abe, we have Our Cursed Love, out from Wednesday Books in hardcover, ebook, and audio. This is a young adult fantasy romance novel. Remy dreams of being more than just friends with Cam, but during a trip to Japan trying an ancient Japanese soulmate elixir goes wrong. If she can't find a way to reverse the elixir, he will forget her forever. You better swallow some spiders to catch that fly. Isn't that the obvious solution? More magic elixirs should do the trick. In Anthology, we have one new book coming out this week. From Oghenechovwe, Donald Ekpeki, Eugen Bacon, and Milton Davis, we have The Year's Best African Speculative Fiction 2022, out from Kasich SF and Fantasy and trade paperback and ebook. This is a year's best anthology of short stories by African and African diaspora authors. And because our list is a little short this week, I'll give you a little extra. In case you missed it, I want to tell you about Monsterous Alterations by Christopher Brozek, out from Leth in trade paperback this past September. From the review in Locus by Gary K. Wolfe, fiction which deliberately sets itself in dialogue with specific works of earlier fiction is an ancient tradition, but it often seems like catnip for SFF writers. Just in the last few years, we've seen Nevo on F. Scott Fitzgerald, Elizabeth Hand on Shirley Jackson, Kij Johnson on Kenneth Graham and H.P. Lovecraft, John Kessel on Austen and Mary Shelley, and just about everyone else on fairy and folk tales. Going back a bit further, we could cite Le Guin on Virgil, Silverberg on Conrad, Benford on Faulkner, and why not, Asimov on Edward Gibbon. We seem to have a lot of terms for this: redactions, variations, renditions, adaptations, revisionings, etc. But the one preferred by Christopher Brozek is evident in the title of his fascinating new collection, Monsterous Alterations. The collection is fascinating not only because of the quality and variety of the 10 stories, but because it's also something of a thesis with illustrations. Brozek's introduction posits 6 specific strategies for such fiction, alterations of emphasis, perspective, setting, and language, as well as what he calls remixes, stories drawn from multiple sources, and transformations in which the author has filed off the serial numbers to subtly disguise the source text. That wraps up this week. Thanks for spending some time with us. At Locus, we set out to try to tell you about everything going on in the science fiction, fantasy, horror publishing space. If you've got space in your heart for us, please mash some buttons on your way out. Holidays are the time to guilt people into being kind, and all we want is likes and subscribes, and maybe a snarky comment if you're really feeling it. Locus Magazine and the YouTube channel are a labor of love. We are at Locus Mag or at Locus Magazine on most platforms. You can read more about the science fiction, fantasy, and horror field over at www.locusmag.com or support us on our Patreon. We are a 501c3 nonprofit. Come back and see us again soon, and we'll be here next week with more new books.